Hey guys, I'm MeeMee and I do Allsorts, and today, as you can see, I have another Art Snacks box. So this is March's Art Snacks Plus box, and it's actually quite heavy, so I'm actually really intrigued to know what's in it. If you don't know, Art Snacks is an art subscription box from the US. It comes with a variety of different art supplies. You can get in the normal Art Snacks box, which is only a year big, and with the Plus box you can get just a smidgen bit extra. I'm not sponsored, not affiliated, so let's get into it. And in March we get... Ooh! Right, so first off we have our bubble mailer. We have our destruction list, which we will have a look later so we don't spoil anything. This is our normal Art Snacks box, which I will be opening up in a minute. And what's Art Snacks without the snack? And this month we get Smarties. Now if you've seen the Valentine's one, then you'll know that in the UK our Smarties and like sugar coated chocolate buttons, and I have actually trying these, and in England they actually taste like a double lolly. If you don't know what a double lolly is, I'll post a picture, and that's what it reminds me of. So that's the bubble mailer, and so in the rest of the box we have graphics permanent markers. So last month we actually got a 24 pack of these, and these ones come in 12 this time. So I know how these work. And I can tell you what, the colours are absolutely, they're so vibrant. Right, next up we have a pencil sharpener in square, which is really unusual, well for me anyway. I've seen a lot of sharpeners, but I've never seen a square one. It's usually in like animal shapes and all that, but this one is a blue ocean bioplastic, which is really cool, and it's by a company which you can't see in there, but it's actually by K-U-M, and so it's got a little flip lid to it, and oh, ooh, hello. Okay, I've never seen a sharpener like this before, and so much so I can't get my words out. So you've got your basic sizes here for big chunky pencils and normal pencils, but there's also a really small one here, which I have never ever seen before. So I'm really intrigued to see what pencils we can get to use this with, and if one of them actually fits in that. And then of course everything catches in the bottom. And last but not least we have such a thick pad. Right, so this is a mixed media multi-technique pad by Fabriano, and it's £110, 160 GSM in 7 by 10 inches, and ooh, you get 60 pages. Wow. And so we've got a decent thickness here. It is perforated down the side, so you can rip a page down. But if I thought then the 40-page sketch pad that I had last month was generous, this is even far more generous. And I've just seen here it's got a medium, so it's like in between smooth and rough. It's got a resilient surface, ideal for detail work, easy erasing, and it comes acid free. So I will be intrigued to see how this one works. So we've seen the extras in the box, and now we get to see what's in the normal Art Snacks. And this month we get... Ooh. Oh my god, is that what I think it is? First thing I see is a Blackwing. And Blackwing pencils, for me personally, are amazing. Now I've actually received a Blackwing pencil in January from Scrawlrbox. So this is the Art Snacks one, and this is the Scrawlrbox one. So this is like the second Blackwing pencil that I received this year, and honestly I really do love them. For me, I can only describe them as being like a B pencil, but darker. I will be swatching it out later, so I can show you like the different, and that is super generous. And did actually have a read from one of the destruction list, and this is a little extra from Art Snacks because they turn 8 years old this month, so happy birthday Art Snacks. Alright, up next we have a Kurotake pen. I love Kuretakes. Ooh, whoa, that is super fine. I've never ever seen a brush pen this fine before. Oh, that looks so delicate. I do not even want to touch it. I do not want to look at it. But that brush is beautiful as this barrel. It's black and it's got gold details all over it, and so now I'm going to be very delicate. Right, next up we have Plumchester. Now I've heard that the brand Plumchester is really good, and the way I live in the UK and we do not have anything Plumchester. Here we have a paint marker in blue. I love my paint markers. I have the entire collection of Posca markers. I've got other different paint markers, and now I've got this paint marker. And then the nib, it's a big thick bar. So in Swartz-based acrylic paint with the reversible, a what? A reversible nib? Eh? What? Ooh. So it does actually look like you can choose between a round nib and a chisel. I never knew you could do that. It even has a picture in there saying that you can go from a 3mm to a 5mm. Ooh, I think I'm going to be trying that and getting paint everywhere. Right, and last but not least, we have a Chameleon dual pencil. I have Chameleon fine line markers, and I had no idea that they tinned pencils. Jeez, this actually brings me back to my childhood, because I've never actually used a dual penciling things in a very, very long time. I can consider them a bit annoying because once you go down to a certain point, for me, I always end up stabbing myself. So anyway, we've gone like a golden orange on one side and a red on the other. And we actually have the colour names on the back, so we've got papaya and kumquat. I've never tried the kumquat, but apparently they are really nice. And then to see the sound, we have the Art Snack sticker in its glorious pencil pretzel shape. And so now we've mentioned the contenders, let's get on to swatching. Alrighty then, let's give everything a bit of a swatchy and see what we're working with. And so we're starting off with the Blackwing. I could have used the other one, but you know what? I can do whatever I like. This one's really nice to use. It was a smooth sharpening. Got a beautiful fine sharp point there. Try and bring in as close as I can without the camera and completely losing focus. And so this is the Blackwing, which is absolutely beautiful. It is very smooth. I don't know whether it's the pencil or the paper. So I've just pulling down some other pencils. I've got a 4B pencil and I've got a HB pencil. Just to show you the difference, and also so I can tell the difference. Oh no, I can tell the difference straight off there. So this is the 4B pencil, and this one, even though them 4Bs are a lot smoother, the Blackwing was actually a lot more smoother than this. This one did have a little bit of a pull on the paper, but the Blackwing was super smooth. And now we're trying out the HB. Oh, that one's got more of a resistance to it. So I think if anything, the Blackwing is super smooth. It's all pretty much down to personal preference. And not only that, but one of the great features about Blackwing pens so that you don't get in any other pencil apart from mechanical pencils is that you can actually remove these erasers. I can't do it without ripping my fingers on these things here, but you can remove the erasers. So next we're going to try the Chameleon dual pencil. Nice one there. Now the blend. And that is a very seamless blend. I love this pencil. Right, and now the Kurotaki, which I am terrified of. This is weird. You have to be extremely delicate with this because it does bend really easily. But you do get some beautiful thicknesses. So that's then pushed on the way down, and that's the lightest touch. Now, as scary as it is to use something so delicate, that is seriously beautiful. I'm not going to test on the permanent markers since and I can keep saying I'm gone to a 24 pack last month, and these are the colours that I've got. On one end you've got a bullet tip, and on the other you've got a super fine tip which the camera doesn't want to focus on. And this is the swatch card that I made from the last one, and half the colours that I've got here are on here, so as you can see the colours are absolutely beautiful and vibrant. Now unfortunately, even though that these are alcohol based markers, they are permanent, so once they're down you can't blend. Did try it there, and that's the best thing I could do without ripping up the board. And last but not least, I'm going to prep and test out the plum chester. Ooh, tell you what, the blue is beautiful. A bit like a royal blue. Now this is going to be interesting. Ew. Jeez, that was a very bad idea. Right hand it is. And there's the chisel. Ooh, now I don't know what to do. You know what, I'm going to keep it with the chisel. I'm not swapping it again. So yeah, there's all my tests. We have a very intriguing and really unusual set of supplies here. And I think Art Snags really do love giving us total curveballs, because I've never come across, you know, a menagerie of strange materials to work with, you know, and I don't even know how to use them together like this, but that's where the fun comes in. So for the Art Snacks Plus menu, our plus items we get is the Fabriano spiral bound paper pad and the Marabou graphics permanent markers. So since we don't get a challenge with this, and like we normally wouldn't with the scroll box, I'm going to have a think about this, so I shall get back to you in a bit. First of all, I would like to apologise, as you've seen throughout the video I've been correcting myself. These permanent markers were not in the last Art Snacks box, but in Smart Art, so I do apologise for that. And anyway, I don't think it really matters. If it does, I do apologise. So with that said, I am buying them way. If you hear a lot of noise, I am sorry. I'm rendering a video at the moment, so my laptop's taken off and I've got my washing machine on, so that's what's happening. Anyway, moving on. I went ahead and drew what it is that I'm doing. I did find a prompt for this box, but it was mainly to make a calendar and do illustrations, which I don't really want to do because I've already got a physical calendar. So I decided to take my initiative and just do my own thing. So as you can see, if you see my last video, I'm doing something a little bit similar. I'm doing this based on the supplies that I do have. And I decided to do like a bit of a mixture of the last piece. I wanted to do something a bit different style-wise, so and I'm just really wanting to do something with lots of different shapes. So as you can see, I've got a lovely woman here with the big rounded glasses. Her afro, I wanted to do something a bit pixelated, so I decided to go with like these squares. And the idea behind that was to use the paint marker. And then I wanted a stripy top. I wanted a lollipop and do sort of like the same pixely thing to him, but with circles, you know, just something a bit different, you know, something I've never tried before. And even just doing a sketch, it was so much fun, and it also allows me to really use all of the supplies that I've got. So this is also going to be really weird, because for the skin colour I am actually going to be using the dual ended pencil, meaning because I've only got one brown and it's far too dark for what I'm intending on doing. Alright, so let's get into it. I'm just going in with the skin, and I'm just essentially going to be layering it up. tell you what, I'm trying to get into nice, even, light, dark and mid-tone range with just two colours that are quite similar when darkened is actually really difficult. Either that or it's just me. I'm burnishing right now just to try and get those darks in again, because these colours are very similar. You can get a really nice gradient, but you just really cannot get those much needed darks. And I don't necessarily want to go in with the orange pen. And this is going to be quite difficult, and now moving on to the hands. And need to get some darks in here so you can actually tell where the fingers are. I can't draw hands and I can't shade them either. This is something on my to-do list and things to improve. That list practically contains everything that I need to improve on buildings, people, and you name it, it's on the list. And at the moment this is not turning out exactly as I planned. I had no idea how bands and these would actually work together. You can see I need to get the darks in there, but my darks are just as dark as my mid-tones, if that makes any sense. I to use a reference from these hands, and I've just realised that I only had 3 fingers, not 4. Well, that was embarrassing. I don't know why I really am loving this blue. Unfortunately it's eaten up the paper really badly. I kind of wish then I left the rounded end in, but I don't necessarily want to get paint everywhere like I did before. I really do love how I've got the second colour down and it's actually coming together. Ooh, I had no idea how much this would bleed. I just kind of wish that this one's a way lighter blue. For the t-shirt, as you can see, I'm going to be doing like a rainbow pattern. I didn't want to do anything like too colourful full of mink and it's an absolute mess. So I thought for the top, if I went like really minimalistic, and should work. Just looking at this now, and the basing like coloured stripes and the top is actually working really well. Okay, now it's the bit that I'm not looking forward to. The outlines. I'm not going with absolute perfection here because I don't know how to control such a thin brush. Which, by the way, I have found that this brush was actually based off the design of an eyeliner. Not being confused with an actual eyeliner, so please, if you do get this, do not put it in your eyes. Okay, I think that was the scariest part I wanted to have told of this picture, just outlining the glasses. I think that's will take some getting used to, and for now I am digging it. No one could have just went in with the graphics mark, but I wanted to really use this and get a really good feel for it, and honestly, I'm feeling it. What I do not know, but I love the different thicknesses of lines that you can get, and the unpredictability if you press too hard or too soft. Alright, and there you have the final piece. Now, honestly, I had so much fun doing this. I had no idea how it was going to turn out. And that's it, like the randomness of the supplies that I got. But honestly, it turned out far better than I expected. The permanent markings were fabulous as always to work. They were vibrant, they were nice to work with. The very fine bullet nib was amazing to work with, and like a fine liner, so I didn't have to go in with full black. I didn't want to do too much detail, you know, I wanted to keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it colourful without going too overboard, and thinking I achieved that. The plum chester I really did love using. I just wish that I was able to swap the nibs back over without getting ink everywhere. Honestly, if you can get your hands on paint markings, I would highly recommend it. The problem with the chisel tip to this is mine started fraying a little bit. Every time I tried to get like a clean stroke, there would always be streaks, so I wasn't necessarily too fond of that, hence why I want to swap them back over at some point in the rounded nib. It's a nice little gimmick, I suppose. You've got the option of having a rounded nib or a chisel nib. It's easy to use, beautiful colours. The Kurotake ink pen thing, it did take me a hot second to get used to when, as you can see, I was having trouble with getting rounded edges, but it was halfway through the first lens that I really started to understand that you really need to be light-handed. I'm extremely heavy-handed, so this was testing my patience as well as my dexterity. The only downside to this is, well, you can't see it too, but I noticed halfway from the hair around here, the tip actually started fraying a bit. Like the bristles were pulling apart, which wasn't exactly ideal, and then had to start going back over lines because, I was getting lines in odd directions. It seems to have corrected itself, but that's what you can get for having such a delicately fine tip. So another one that I would highly recommend because it was so fabulous to use, and like mentioned, you get different line with the Chameleon dual tip. Again, as mentioned, it was really lovely to work with. You could easily layer up, and the colours were beautifully vibrant. Again, as the downside is then both of the colours were quite similar, so it was a little bit difficult to get some really good darks in there. You really have to work in a lot of light, like I have done around the neck area. And other than that, none that you need to try it. I would love to get into a few more of these and see if I can actually really work with them. And it was almost like compare with working with Prismacolors, which wax based, in terms of saturation and layering, and you could get the same results. And as for the black wing, the added extra in the box for Art's next birthday, really beautiful to work with. It was smooth, it smudges like any pencil would do, but this was extra smudgy. I mean, even I had a lot of trouble trying to erase it because I tried to erase it and I just got a grey smudge across the page, which isn't ideal, but honestly I cannot fault the Blackwing pencil. I hope you guys enjoyed my journey on this as much as I have. I love the different style that it did, and I've just noticed that the lollipop looks like Mickey Mouse's head. That was not intentional. So if you guys are interested in your own art snacks box, I will leave a link in the description box below. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.